The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach, dear friends. We've got a little bit of volume out here today as we start the show. S&P is up 4 points, a little less than 2.4 billion shares, so we've got some volume. Dipped a little bit farther down than yesterday. And I don't know what else you can say. That was about it. We've been we got up to about 1,900 on the S&P cash, pulled back down. A lot of volume trying to break out the lows. Haven't got that quite yet. We've got a lot of the bigger stocks out here that are still holding up fairly well. People are still out there nibbling at them, and we'll get to that. We also have what I think is the end of a liquidity event. Now, the problem is that liquidity event is probably over, and we're talking about, of course, the big commodity house in England. And it looks like, they had a nice bounce out there today. That's probably going to put an end, at least temporarily, to those issues. We also have bigger issues coming out. The question is whether or not there will be now contagion. And, of course, markets don't crash at the top. They crash at the bottom. We've had a pretty good downturn so far. The question is, will this now actually start moving into other sectors? And, of course, a lot of rumors being passed around about that in the last day or so, and that is that especially the bigger companies, and maybe why they've been hit more than others, were using their stock price as collateral for these loans where they were buying back their own stocks. And now that it's gone against them, maybe they'll have to sell some of their own stock back again into the market to cover those loans. And I don't know, it just seems to me that would have been probably a pretty poor bet for those CEOs. Maybe they don't care. But I haven't seen any documentation that actually says that's how they did it. I think that they've got bonds and other things that probably are much more likely to be collateral than their own stock. Because if you're borrowing to get your stock price up, the last thing a lender wants to do is beat on you and get that price down if they have to come out and collect. So I don't know. There's kind of far-reaching stories out there that seem a little bit tough, especially at this date and time, to get into. And always you hear about the foil helmet stories at these levels. But there may be a little bit more on and in that as we go along. Anyway, we're up 3 points, 4 points, bouncing around 2.4 billion shares. And the question is, what are we going to do here at the end of the day? If we have a move of any size at all, there is a gigantic amount of short interest in this market at the moment. But again, pretty much a buyer's strike. And even though you get a couple of bounces out of the market, we get people back right on top of it yet again. So this close is going to be very interesting and probably definitive as to what happens in the near future in the coming weeks and months, because we're at a level where this market needs to bounce, even if it's going lower. The difference would be if it just decides to go up, open up a window, and jump out the side of the building instead of taking the elevator down. But we'll have to see. 2.4 billion shares, not a lot. We were light yesterday when we came into this. We're not light today. We could actually get to the kind of volume that we might need. But again, really haven't had a lot of movement in this market. Now, I had a newsletter of some 90 pages this morning, and most of those were charts showing just how many stocks were down and had broken lows with almost no volume. Every other time I've seen this, the reactions or the relief rallies doesn't mean that they're the final ones, but the relief rallies have been of biblical proportions. That means that they have been incredibly vicious to the upside. They haven't been incredibly long, but they've been incredibly vicious. They've happened in hours in the market to begin with, and then start a continuous cycle of shorting and slightly going higher and slightly going higher before shorts quit shorting and the market actually can go back down again. But I was out there bottom fishing at the lows of the market today. I have a lot of stuff out here that if it goes my way, I think I'm going to have some huge wins. If it doesn't go my way, I'm going to have some either flat or very minor losses. But I've been adding all day out here, and maybe the market goes a little lower, but I'm swinging for the fences on this one. The risk reward at this level is the kind of risk reward that you only get maybe once a year. It doesn't mean that I'm right, but it does mean that if it goes with me, my guess is that it will be a home run. Anyway, as always, we like to start off the show with a little bit of history.
It's all just a little bit of history repeating.
If you've ever thought you had bad timing, well, on this day in 1987, old Mr. Charles Schwab launches his IPO. And if you are one of these fine customers, suckers, that bought 8 million of his shares at the public at the price of $16.50, just 20 days later, the crash of 1987 hits. And as the stock market plunges 23% in a single day, Schwab's stock is hammered down to $6.50 a share. And you got kind of a haircut. I guess if you held it long enough, you would have been okay. But I think you probably would have rather bought it down at $6.50. But on this day in 1950, some sheeps got fleeced. And that's all I got to say about that. Anyway, we were talking about, of course, Glencore earlier. I don't have any slides for it. We're going to get into charts again here today, just because I've got so many. But it certainly looks to me like Glencore finally has found something. They're talking about taking it private and getting it back on its feet. So it bounced fairly good, mostly because the shorts thought that maybe something would happen. And that gives you kind of indication of what happens when you do hit a bottom and any kind of news makes shorts think that it's time to get out. You get a stampede. And does that mean that Glencore couldn't get back down to these levels? I don't think it does, but it does show you the kind of wicked short squeezes you can have in even bad markets. Like I said, we're going to go through some more charts out here today. Maybe we bounce today, maybe we don't, but it certainly looks to me like we've got some incredibly washed out stocks in this market. And like I said, stock markets don't crash at highs, they crash at lows. And we have the opportunity here to make, or the market has an opportunity to make a big decision. That is whether or not this thing is just going to continue down, because I think this is the Rubicon right here. We've got a ton of stocks with no volume. They're now starting to act like they did maybe 6 weeks ago. We started talking about that, and that's how the energy stocks hit lows on lighter volume and discontinued down. And that would not be far from what's happening now in this market, but we're going to go through those charts anyway. Let's get started on that. You can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can always email me at path@tfnn.com. And we're just going to get started. We're going to start from the back on. Looking at Xerox out here today. And of course, always nice to have a name that's also a verb. August 26th, this saw $9.62 for 31 million shares. The energy actually increased just a little off that September 17th high at $10.78. We are now below that low of 31 million shares with 11 million shares. And, pretty light volume, especially when you compare it to yesterday. 11 million shares. We're basically doing 5.8 million shares today. So we continue to contract volume on a lot of these stocks, and especially in this oil sector. The S&P Oil Gas ETF, the XOP, broke its previous low of August 26th, $32.78 with 19 million shares, with 13.6 million shares yesterday. Today, the volume is infinitesimal. It's trying to get back above that 32.78, which would put it on a buy signal. That low out here today, 5.5 million shares, gives you kind of the indication that you would want to look at. The materials sector out here, I'm looking at gold, and get this out of the way here. Hang on a second. I think I clicked on the wrong thing and this popped up. Anyway, gold, it's off, $4, $5, 11.27. Silver's off 6 cents, it's 14.60. But you start looking at a lot of these material stocks, and of course you start looking at the dollar index. This thing has been pounding away at that 96.30 for a while. It's off 7 cents today. Really can't get going down. Every time it comes and goes up, it looks like the Treasury Department's there standing with a fire hose of cash to keep the dollar from going any higher. But that is a little interesting out here. XLH, XHR, he said. Another one, Zena Hotels. Not familiar with this company, but they are testing their August 24th lows. And that's $17.55, 1.5 million shares. Last 2 days, 513,000 shares, 237,000 shares today. I think you might see why I'm thinking that there may be a lot of fireworks coming in to the end of the day out here. And normally, you get in the last 30 minutes or an hour, and these things resolve themselves one way or the other. But we'll keep an eye on that. What else do we have out? Cimarex Energy, and of course, probably one of the most beat up sectors out here. XEC, August 24th, $97.97, 2.3 million shares. Yesterday, we had 1 million shares. Today, 600,000 shares. So this one is one of the better looking charts. What I really like is the August 12th high down to the August 24th high, the energy out of that one. And then we go back and look at the energy from the September 9th high back down to the lows of today. Energy is really starting to come out of these, along with not seeing any kind of volume at the lows, 50% or less. Normally that's enough for an instant bounce, but we've got a market that's fairly sour. Dour, I think is another word they use for it. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crisp crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're looking at a little bit more of those stocks in that commodity sector. Vale, VALE. Very interesting move yesterday and volume for today. August 24th, $4.13, 32 million shares. Yesterday came into that with a 21.5 million shares. Today, just 13.8 million shares, kind of hovering around those lows. You'd like this thing to close back into $4.13 to confirm a false breakdown to the bottom. The Valspar company, this one, of course, is a paint company. I like their paint. It's actually on the wall behind me with all the stickers from TFNN. I think it's a big deal at Home Depot. I think that's it, yeah. Anyway, September 1st, $70.88, 1 million shares in the Valspar company. A little primer yesterday down at 440,000 shares, so a 44% test of the previous low on September 1st. Yesterday, of course, we had that 424,000 today, 235,000 as we get into the bottom of the hour here. Urban Outfitters, of course, these retail stocks have been, or clothing stocks, especially ones for teens, have been absolutely beaten to death. This one has not yet tested the lows, although it's into the candle of August 24th. 4 million shares on that day to $28.22. Still about 30 cents above that one. Volume today, a little under 600,000 shares going up against that 4 million share candle. Even yesterday, 1.3 million shares. So a lot of these stocks, they're going to either hold or they're going to break here. And a lot of these with very light volume continuing down. It's just the amount of them now is pretty epic. Let me put it that way. I don't think there were this many stocks testing previous lows even in March of 2009. So that's why I think that there may be a biblical move of biblical proportions, because that would make sense if it was biblical. Anyway, Domitar, UFS hygiene products for women, August 24th, $35.75. 1 million shares yesterday, 470,000 shares today, up a little on 353,000 shares. But we can do a lot. TZA out here, the small cap, a favorite of the den, had 41 million shares on August 24th. The day after that had 29 million shares, 35 million shares on August 26th. So pick your poison out of those. What we are looking at is, of course, the 16 million shares as it went into those candles yesterday and the 10.2 million shares that we have today. So there's not a lot of juice in those, and that's why I think you have the opportunity to have maybe some real fireworks over the next couple of days, and or it's just going to hop the fence and that's it. And, maybe we are going to have the kind of crash that some have called for. What is this one? TTM. Tata Motors, of course, the Indian car manufacturer. TTM had a big blowout low of August 24th on 4.1 million shares. 1.6 million shares yesterday, 765,000 today. The one thing, and one of the reasons why I'm not hopping on a lot of these, is the energy was about the same on the leg up or the leg down. That pretty much contends a trading range, even if it couldn't bust volume out on the low side. I'd like to find stocks with maybe a little less volume coming in. Tree.com. What does Tree.com do? Is this Lending Tree? Is that what that is? Yeah, Lending Tree. Why does this say Tree? Lending Tree. This is not a bad-looking chart out here, and I love the volume. You've got everything in a standard Wyckoff buy pattern in this one. This thing, it took off on the 4th of August with 1.3 million shares. It's tried to come back into it a few times. Yesterday, 490,000 shares. Today, 126,000 shares as it comes in and fills those gaps. Interestingly enough, Toll Brothers, looking at this stock, 8.1 million shares going into the August 26th low of $34.49. We've gone below that, still below that. Yesterday, 2.5 million shares. Today, 1.4 million shares. So these are the stocks that I probably would not be short. There isn't a lot of energy back in these. Now, Toll Brothers didn't have a lot of volume back off that August 26th low to the September 17th high. But, on this last leg down, if you really compare it to the August 19th high down to the August 26th low, not a whole lot of energy. So probably a fairly decent trading range setting up on some of these. We'll be back in a minute. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the path of least resistance under trading newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back up 5.5 points. We're not out of this lower trading range, at least for the day out here. But it looks like we're starting to edge up just a little. 2.57 billion shares. So volume's been light, as it mostly is during the 2 o'clock hour out here. But got a lot of people going back and forth on this market. What else can you say? Anyway, we'll take a look at it here as we go along. As I said, I've got probably a couple, 300-400 stocks testing lows with lighter volume. We're going to show you pretty much the ones that were, I'm probably not going to get a fourth of the way through them today that were in my newsletter. But, I mean, they aren't breaking lows with any kind of volume. There's some are. But a great deal of stocks out here are testing these previous lows with lighter volume. Other stocks of interest, STT, which is State Street, wanted to see some volume come in yesterday. If you were short, August 24th, 4.9 million shares at $67.06. Yesterday, we came through that with 3 million shares. Today, a little doji out here with 1.4 million shares. And again, you'd want something of a close above $67.06 to get back in that. SSL is Sasso Limited, SSL. This one, a pretty nice pattern out here. Now, this is one of those stocks that did come down with lighter volume compared to the volume up off the 24th low. $27.32 on that August 24th day that will live in infamy, up to the September 3rd high. I look at the September 17th high back down, and the energy has been rather flat. You had 620,000 shares on that big day. As we go over here to the right side of the chart, 385,000 shares, so about 200,000 shares short yesterday. Got about 500,000 shares today. So less energy on the way down, but volume picking up on that one. So you'll want to watch that one into the close and see how it does. 77 Energy, SSE. This one, I like the energy. Popped off the August 24th low, went up to $2.94, and back down to these lows. It has pierced the August 24th low of $1.67 with 2.5 million shares. The last 4 days, we had 1 million shares, 1.2 million shares. Yesterday, 1 million shares. Today, 500,000 shares. So again, we're getting kind of late in the day to have such a super light volume, which makes me think we could certainly have fireworks late in the day. Superior Energy, another one out here, has not touched its low. It's got about another 30 cents, but getting close. August 24th, we saw $12.59 with 5.2 million shares, 1.7 million shares yesterday, 1.4 today. It has pierced a little lower, but it still has not hit that low. So you want to keep an eye on that. Shutterfly. Now, this thing has come off $49.10. Probably wouldn't be buying it, but certainly volume is kind of had a crescendo. August 24th, 760,000 shares at $36.39. Last 3 days, 300,000 shares, 295,000 shares. Today, 200,000 shares. And as I said, mostly when you have this kind of light volume back against a low like this, you pop right back into the trading range. ComScore, and this one, SCOR, breaking its September 2nd low at $43. That had 1.9 million shares. The last couple of days as it's gone through that, 284,000 shares, 257,000 shares, 164,000 shares. Of course, it's not back in that trading range. It would have to close above $43, but energy picked up a little bit compared to the light, the move up. Nothing compared to the huge volume off from August 17th down to the September 2nd low. What else do we have out of here? Rackspace. I was looking at this one earlier today. Very interesting to see this one break its previous lows. Very, very light volume so far today. The August 11th low had 11 million shares at 27.65. You pierced that with the August 24th low with 3.7 million shares at 26.87. Then in the last 3 days, we've gone through that candle with 1.3 million shares, 1.1 million shares yesterday. We got about 1.2 million shares. So volume a little bit better or higher than the last couple of days, but nothing compared to those two previous days. Much lighter volume. Qualcomm, of course, one of the big fish out here, may just be done going down. I don't know. Certainly no volume today in a day where everybody's getting ready to come around the corner and yell boo. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. And you can email me at path@tfnn.com. I'll get to a couple of those emails here in this segment, I think. Qualcomm, nice little low at $52.59. The August 24th low, 29 million shares, 13 million shares on the September 24th. Bounced a little. Last 3 days, 13 million, 11 million. Today, 5.5 million shares as we're into that August 24th low. And really looks like some of these bigger stocks are finding some footing. Outerwall, which is, of course, the stock that has Redbox and Coinstar in your local shopping center or Walmart, all those other ones where you go rent your DVDs or change into cash been at the same store. They call it outer wall because, of course, they're on all over the outer wall of the store, either outside or inside at the front of them. Outer wall is kind of interesting. August 24th, $58 with 800,000 shares yesterday, 500,000 shares today, a measly 200,000 shares as it fills a gap and goes below that August 24th low. NOG, which is Northern Oil and Gas, has been bouncing off this August 24th low, 3.1 million shares, $4.16 yesterday. Did it with about half the volume, 1.8 million shares, went to 405, has closed back in it, so it's still on a buy signal. You've got your back pretty much to the wall on this one. Any close below 416 would have you back in and maybe seeing lower prices, but 730,000 shares so far today. So not seeing a lot of people bailing out here at the lows. What else do we have? Just take a look at here. Noble Corporation, NE. And let's pull this up just to say what we got going on here. Offshore drilling contractor. And I don't know, they'd be the last people I would probably buy, but certainly looks like it did test the previous low yesterday and actually get a little bounce. Not a lot of volume out here today. August 24th, $10.52, 10 million shares. Yesterday we saw 7 million shares as it went below it, closed below it, popped back into the trading range. I don't know what you can say other than this is what the market looks like for the most part. A handful of stocks blowing through previous lows. To the Monster Worldwide, of course, the company that does a lot of hiring for upscale jobs, I would imagine. This looks very interesting today. I almost bought it. I just didn't have enough meat on the bones for $1 trade on a $6 stock. I'd like to have seen maybe $2 in something like this to play it. So maybe just a little lean for my taste out here. But this thing gapped up beautifully on the 30th of August, or is that June? 5, 6, 7 of July. And what was that? 4.5 million shares. Tried to get into it on August 26th on 3.2 million shares. 1 million shares yesterday, 1.3 million shares today as it went in and filled that gap, at least with a wick, and popped back up here at this trading range. So starting to see at least a few of these things find a decent footing. Manawak, MTW, the August 25th low on this was 1490. What is that? 1489. 4.7 million shares yesterday. 1.8 million shares, and about 1 million today. So a little bit more energy on this downside than you would like to say or see, but that normally connotes maybe more of a trading range than not seeing a bottom with super light volume. Memorial Production Partners, MEP, a lot of these partnerships, of course, just doing incredibly horrible. I would not buy them, but even they are kind of giving a decent signal out here about at least price and volume. August 24th, $5, 2 million shares. Yesterday we had almost 800,000 shares. Today, pretty much the same, but you need to close back above that $5 low from August 24th to get you into the buy range on this. Level 3 Partners has made a nice little doji out here. I don't know if this thing is done going down, but certainly not a lot of volume the last 3 or 4 days as this thing has broken its September 1st low at $42.89. As we went through that 4.7 million share low, it broke 2.3 million shares, 1.9 million shares on the 25th. Yesterday, 2.1 million shares. Today, 1.5 million shares. So it looks like a lot of washouts on very light volume as we come back in these stocks. Legacy Reserves, another one of these partnership companies, if I'm not mistaken. August 24th, $4.13, 680,000 shares the last 3 days. 241,000 shares, 278,000 shares. Yesterday or today, 169,000 shares. You need back above 413 to put it on a buy signal. LECO, Lincoln Electric Company. And of course, these guys sell in electrical wholesale, if I'm not mistaken. Let's make sure about that. Which would be kind of a input, of course, welding, cutting, brazing products, fume extraction, a lot of manufacturing stuff for oil and gas too. And they go into that August 24th low of $52.30 with 1 million shares. 2 days ago, 380,000 shares. Yesterday, 344,000 shares. Today, 226,000 shares. So back into those lows with 25% volume. Again, very interesting. Let's take a quick look at the markets and see how we're doing out here. Up to $2. What else do we have out here? Okay. We broke the lows in Kane Anderson MLPs, which of course are one of these investment vehicles that didn't go well. But August 6th, this had 1.2 million shares, 870,000 shares on August 24th at 24.20. Yesterday, 777,000 shares, which was about the same, about 650,000 shares. So these are probably the weakest of the bunch when we look at them. KBR, 2 million shares on August 26th at $15.85. Yesterday, 1.4 million shares. Today, 700,000 shares. So one of the weaker ones also out here in the launch. Janus Capital, and 5.1 million shares on August 24th. Yesterday, 2.6 million shares. Today, 3 million shares. So a little pickup as we go lower, but this thing looked to me like it was coming after this little gap that goes back a ways. So let's go ahead and pick this thing up. I mean, this thing is a huge gap that goes back to, September 25th, September 29th of 2014. And that's quite a gap. 8.2 million shares last time at $12.82. That was October 15th of 2014. So we'll keep an eye on that. IWM was another one that I thought was very interesting today. This thing had a pretty much of a rocket back down to the previous low of 108.26. 830,000, was that right? No, that's 83 million shares in the IWM. August 24th, 108.26. Yesterday, 56.8 million. Today, 30.4 million. You need to get this thing to close back in 108.26 to put it on the buy signal. I had a couple of questions. Wanted to look at Apple, see what it's doing. It's not looking good. This thing went down to 110. Volume's about 45 million shares so far. But again, it's good volume for most stocks, but not for Apple. This thing is still in its trading range. I thought it was probably going back down to the 109.27, which is the, or 108.51, which is the 9.4 low, and that had 49 million shares. If it breaks that, then it's going to the 9.1 low, which is 107.72. But not a great deal of energy, at least when we look at the volume in that. Invesco. Look at this thing. $31.03, August 24th, 7 million shares. Yesterday, 3.5 million shares. Today, 2.2 million shares so far. We'll be back in a minute, and I think that's been it. We'll come back after the break.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Volume 2.73 billion shares as we go into the last segment of the show. Kind of a tepid bounce out here. Question in the den is, do I submit? Well, I think we're certainly at the Rubicon. I think if we can't bounce here, that we may be setting up for that crash that happens at bottoms of the market. And like I said, they don't crash at the highs, they crash at the lows. I thought that there was a good chance the liquidity event was over. We probably should be seeing the market rally by the end of the day if fund buying is going to be enough to at least put a tourniquet on the bleeding, at least for the short term. But I don't see any of that cash coming in at the moment. But, if you see a nice run before the end of the day, I think that's going to tell you one thing. If you see nothing, I think that we have gone into this feedback loop, which is selling, selling, and more selling. And I don't know if there's anything else you can say about it other than that. Still see lots of stocks out here with incredibly light volume. I'd like to be on the opposite side of those when the market does move, but it doesn't look like that's going to be in the next 5 minutes or 4 minutes. What, we got 3 minutes here. Of course, Tom O'Brien after this show, and Andy Heck, I think, does his last show today before he goes on vacation for a couple of weeks. So you want to catch that also. Maybe I'll have some words about what's going on with that commodity broker in England. Garmin, seeing some very light volume and some dojis out here in Garmin. August 24th, $35.35, 4.5 million shares, 1.3 million shares a couple of days ago. Just a light volume out here today, 481,000 shares. But again, maybe we're going to see these light volume cracks at lows as these things jump the fence without any kind of significant buying in this market. Not even a relief rally possible. We had 15 points today. First Solar. Well, no one can accuse me of being bullish on this sector, but certainly the August 24th lows of First Solar. $40.25, 3.8 million shares, 1.8 million shares yesterday as it got into that. Still has not busted that low, still need another 30 cents. That's 1.8 million shares yesterday, 1.2 million shares today as we go after the 3.8 million shares. Fossil, another one that's been beat above the head and shoulders. And of course, 2.1 million shares here, August 24th, $56.01. We're gone below it the last couple of days. Yesterday, 960,000 shares today, 457,000 shares today. So we'll keep an eye on that. And what else do we have? I had a question about DuPont in the email. And looking at that, not a lot of energy in this one, but it is lower by almost $1 out here for the low of the day. August 24th, DuPont, $48.01 on the August 24th low. It's kind of been meandering through this $48 level here for a week or so. Yesterday, it went down with 6.6 million shares. Today, 2.7 million shares. So again, breaking lows, a lot lighter volume. But we continue to see some of these stocks come out and hit lower lows. Last one of the day, Coach. The Belt Company, August 24th, 8.6 million shares, $27.62 yesterday, 2.3 million shares today, 1.8 million shares. So very light volume out. We'll see you tomorrow, same bat channel, same bat time, and that's it.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.